A former Secret Service agent called out the people behind security in the failed assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. Dan Bongino, he went through a lot of key details, and these are details that many of us missed. And I'm going to go through all of these and more later in today's video. In fact, we're also going to bring on Dan Bongino, and you can hear directly from him. And I'm telling you guys right now that this sounds more like a setup as the days go by. But before we even get to that, I found something interesting on X, okay? Now, the belief is that Donald Trump is a bad guy and he's someone that the United States doesn't need, which raises the question, should mainstream media and personalities take ownership over the words that they've thrown toward Donald Trump in the recent years? Now, I'm pretty sure that you guys remember how these people have spoken against former President Donald Trump. They made Trump out to be like a villain. And when he talked about a bloodbath, that he was clearly talking about the auto industry. But I want you guys to watch this compilation of words targeted towards him through different people. And I'm talking about the likes of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Vice President Kamala Harris, President Joe Biden, and even celebrities like Johnny Depp and Robert DeNiro. So this was also the same message sent to us by the likes of CNN, MSNBC, and other left-leaning news outlets, that Donald Trump was a threat and he had to be taken out.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
Biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. And that's
But of course, we're being told that Donald Trump is an insurrectionist. But look at these people and listen to what they're saying. Now, I can't even go further into this video because they become extremely violent in what they say and what they show to the people. In fact, there's a shot of Kathy Griffin with a severed head of former President Donald Trump, a photo that she had to basically apologize for, but the message was already sent to the people. And it's not just celebrities from, former Senator Maria Chappelle Nadal in 2017 posted a comment on Facebook that she wished then President Trump would get assassinated. She also said, well, she apologized for it and said that she didn't mean for it to actually happen, citing that, she was just frustrated as Donald Trump was allegedly causing hate. Now, by the way, guys, if you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video, subscribe to the channel. And always, I want to thank y'all so much for sharing the videos. I really do appreciate your support. It totally does help out the channel. But it's this kind of language that has not gone unnoticed. Senator Tim Scott, he went on X to denounce the attack, and he said that the Democrats and their allies in the media have recklessly stoked fears. Much like what I just showed to you guys just a second ago, he also added that this inflammatory rhetoric puts lives at risk. And as we all saw with the former president, he's right. Donald Trump's 2020 campaign manager also chimed in and said that this is probably one of two things. It's either one of the worst failures in the history of the Secret Service, or it's a deep state plot. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Which of the two is it?
Dan, I mean, you bring up so many amazing points, and I just don't even know where to begin except to ask you, why would the Secret Service not beef up more security for the man who is most likely to be assassinated in the entire world? Why would they not deploy more resources? Why weren't there drones over? Is it that this woman, Kimberly Cheadle, the director, is incompetent? Could there be something else there? What is happening? Is it DEI? What's going on?
Well, Rachel, it's my job, if I'm going to give an opinion, to back it up. Opinions are like holes, right? Everybody has one. The difference between one opinion over the other in a courtroom and anywhere else is, can you back it up? I want everyone at home, go on your phone or computer now. And I want you to look up U.S. Secret Service, red ties, Donald Trump. Yeah, read it. The Secret Service was more concerned about protective agents around Donald Trump. If you think I'm making this up, go to a left-wing search engine if you think I'm biased. Go to Scroogle and put it, oh, you're reading a story right now. They were more concerned about the color of the Secret Service agents' ties around Donald Trump, given the perception that a red tie was somehow, I've got red ties. I'm a Republican. It's nothing to do with it. I just like red ties. They go nice with white shirts. That's an actual, oh, you see it right now. I'm not crazy. This is what the Secret Service was concerned about. They put out, 1,000 tweets about all of this DEI stuff. Do I know that's related here? I don't. I'm just saying, like, you have one job and only one job. Your job is keep the body alive, no matter what. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Jill Biden, the president of Djibouti, it doesn't matter. That is your job. They absolutely, resolutely, 100% failed. Not a single excuse should be made. Not a single excuse should be attempted. This should be the subject of congressional hearings and investigations, because if they can't do this, and this is the best technology you had, then folks, there's no purpose anymore. This isn't the agency I grew up in. It's not. I spent 12 years of my life there, and I'm telling you, I know some of those guys personally. These are good men and women. But this was an apocalyptic security failure. And don't ever forget, an uneventful failure is never a success. And the fact that Donald Trump didn't die yesterday is no reason for anybody to take some kind of victory lap. And before we start sending out plaudits, we better look and do a hot wash on this and find out exactly how abysmal this security plan was.
Well, uniquely.
Now, speaking of which, this highlights a quote from President Biden. He actually said, it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. I mean, look at this right here, guys. Here's Joe Biden himself, July 8th, Political, saying, defiant, Biden tells donors, we're done talking about the debate. Biden delivered a forceful message in a private call with his National Finance Committee, which includes hundreds of top Democratic donors and bundlers. Now, look at this statement here. It says, quote, I have one job, and that is to beat Donald Trump. I'm absolutely certain I'm the best person to be able to do that. So we're done talking about this debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye, Biden said. Unbelievable. Now, if you guys believe that this isn't the narrative that they want, then you would be totally wrong. In fact, a post on Facebook that's associated with a staff member of Democratic U.S. House Representative Benny Thompson was deleted after it clearly incited violence against Donald Trump. Here's what the deleted post said. I don't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss next time. Oops, that wasn't me saying that. End quote. Now, guys, this is just absolutely sickening. Now, there's a fine line between wanting to beat your political rival in the elections to saying that he should be attacked or worse, which now brings me to former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino. So he was a guest on Fox News recently where he questioned the Secret Service and their handling of the situation. He called it an absolute catastrophic failure and commended Donald Trump for literally having to save his own freaking life.
Your thoughts on this, Dan? Just continue where you left off on the reaction here.
So again, open security questions right now. And this is why, again, I think the Secret Service, the PR, Anthony Guglielmi, has to be very careful about what they put out. You know, he says in his X post, and you can read it yourself, you don't need to hear it from me, that they deployed these extra resources and technology. Okay, well, which ones? You're telling me the best technology you have was deployed and you missed a shooter 130 yards? Say it was 200 yards. The Secret Service CS team, Pete, the counter sniper teams, and I'm not sure those two guys are Secret Service. We have remember that we don't always, when we go to New York sometimes with high-level protectees, we'll use NYPD ESU counter sniper. So I'm not really sure they either way they'd still be briefed in. The question we have to ask is, if that's the best technology we have, and we had a CS team up there with a shooter that, you know, we're trained out to 1,000 yards in the Secret Service with the counter sniper team. How did they miss someone at most, you know, 1/5 of the way there? It doesn't make any sense. And even worse, it's broad daylight on a white roof. So again, open questions here. Was there forward-looking infrared deployed? Was there aerial support, drones, helicopters? You know, something happened too. If you go back and listen to the audio, I want you to listen to this after I get off here. when Donald Trump, after this tragic thing happens, you'll see the Secret Service agents. And by the way, I know some of those guys personally. It takes a lot to run into bullets, divorcing the security failure. So at least they did that part, correctly, and they knew what they were doing after the security absolutely failed. But you're going to hear something if you listen closely. The guy mentions Hawkeye on the scene. He's talking about those two, the black BDU with the tactical gear CAT element, that two-man CAT element. That stands for Counter Assault Team. That's a Secret Service special weapons team, equivalent to our SWAT. So they're there. They all deployed and did what had to be. That the bunting around the front of the stage is probably armor. Donald Trump knew to duck. I mean, most people would. He saved his own life. That's just a fact. The evacuation did not go right. I mean, the rule with the Secret Service is cover the protectee and evacuate. The other rule is maximum to the protectee, minimum to the problem. Why minimum to the problem? Because you don't know that's the only problem. It could be a distraction. There could be another person in the crowd. So if you don't jump on the protectee, you could be looking at multiple shooters. So at least that part, the guys there, stepped up there. But the failure here is absolutely catastrophic. And I got to tell you, the Secret Service should be very careful. I can tell you and absolutely confirm from the horse's mouth, from multiple people, not just one. And I saw Congressman Waltz text this out before on X. There have been repeated requests to increase the security footprint around not just the residences of Donald Trump, but the body itself. And they have been rebuffed. Like I said, I can tell you actual quotes. The Secret Service directors completely failed and candidly should resign today. Kim Cheadle has failed Donald Trump and honestly failed Joe Biden too. He's the president right now. Where's the DHS secretary? I mean, this is, you're blaming it on manpower? So just to be clear, we're a $4 trillion United States government and we can't fork over enough money to keep our people alive? And then you're sending out tweets like, oh, this is the best technology we have. Really? To let a sniper 150 yards away from the potential next president shoot a piece of his ear off? That's your victory lap? Give me a break, man.
The idea is that the bunting around the front stage is probably armor. So Donald Trump knew well enough that he had to duck down to avoid possible gunfire from the other assailants. He also brought up a very important point that we need to talk about. The Secret Service had a counter sniper team up there that had a view of the roof. Now, Dan Bongino claims that they're trained in the Secret Service to shoot within 1,000 yards. And yet they missed someone that's a fifth of the way there on a completely white roof with the sun over their heads. Now, it makes you question just how this even happened because it's such a huge hole in security. Now, a lot of people are like, well, why didn't the sniper that was among Donald Trump's special, Secret Service special sniper team, that was the counter sniper team, why didn't he take the shot? Well, I found this post and I want you guys to tell me what you make of it. All right. So as you can see here, this is coming from Twitter. It says, quote, "My name is Jonathan Willis. I'm the officer in the famous photo of the two snipers on the roof at Trump's rally. I came here to inform the public that I had the assassin in my sights for at least 3 minutes, but the head of the Secret Service refused to give the order to take out the perp. 100%. The top brass prevented me from killing the assassin before he took shots at President Trump," end quote. So let me know your thoughts, guys. This post already, I mean, it's only been up, barely 24 hours. It's already got 2 million views here. And so it looks like there's some additional details. This is, okay, so this is the actual post that I was reading from. As you guys can see, this is the famous shot of the sniper team that was on this is the counter sniper team for Donald Trump looking at the assailant. Then we can look over here at the message that the said sniper had indicated. It said, "I didn't follow the orders." He said, "I didn't follow the orders though. As soon as the shooter opened up on Trump, I returned fire despite strict orders to not engage. I had eyes on the shooter for 3 minutes, watching him fiddle with his rifle and adjust the scope. It was obvious he was a shooter, yet I was not allowed to engage." Unbelievable, guys. Now, I just want to kind of reiterate this top line here. I didn't follow orders, though. As soon as the shooter opened on Trump, I returned fire despite strict orders not to engage. So this could have been much worse. Apparently, assuming that this is accurate and this is true, he was actually told to stand down and not to engage. He goes on to say, after I killed the shooter, I was arrested, questioned by the FBI, and just released an hour ago. Already lost my job for not following orders, but I'm glad I took the shots anyway. Guys, drop me your comments. What do you think about this? And please share this video with a like-minded individual and get their opinions, because you know, for this sniper to have been told not to engage, what did they want to happen? What did they want the assailant to do to Donald Trump? Please let me know, guys. And if we talked about security, we should probably raise, and if we talked about security, we should probably also raise this up to DHS. And if we talked about security, we should probably raise this up to DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, right? But according to Representative Mike Waltz, repeated requests to beef up Secret Service protection for Donald Trump have all been denied by Mayorkas. Bongino also confirmed this, as he's heard the same thing from multiple inside sources. And so now House Republican leaders, they're now aimed at now